Welcome back. We are getting into that lower bracket match to determine who is sent out of this group, never to return. Well, next challenger, I guess. Yeah. And who gets another shot at advancing. After this, the winners. So excited to bring you this TvT with the other Terran in this cast. Nathanius. Nope, in control. Just kidding. What do you think about TvT? What do you think about Ruff's TvT in control?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, whatever I think about TvT almost doesn't apply here. I don't know his TvT. Nate was just telling us that he does a whole bunch of one-base timing attacks and stuff and does some weird things. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Try to drop a bunch of Hellbats and have Vikings with it.
It's what I was going to expect. I don't face Ruff. I don't watch his stream, although I do stream a lot. But I'm sure Epic knows what to expect, even though their MMRs are probably quite different.
Very different.
I think most people kind of, the rumors circulate and you kind of figure out that Ruff's going to do something weird. And there are ways to safeguard yourself against weirdness in TvT, as well as ways to actually scout weirdness. Like, believe it or not, you can use a scan. You don't like to. Terrans hate it. But if you think you're going to win a macro game, I mean, go ahead and do it, like, even if it's really early. So I know Epic will be on guard. These guys are actually chatting a little bit about their previous matches in the lobby. And basically, I mean, Epic's response here is what you would expect. He did think he could win the second and third game. He expected PvP to play that way, and he just, something happened, went wrong. Actually, Ruff says that Estrella didn't play at all, like he expected. So I don't know what he expects to face against Epic here, but I guess his master plan really did not work out. And does he even have a master plan? Did he expect to be going into the TvT? Because it's also that you maybe look at that second match and like, okay, if I lose, I face Peely Peely, right? Like, Epic's going to take that one, and then he doesn't. So is the TvT a big surprise?
Yeah. It probably is a little bit of a surprise. And you were talking about this MMR. It's a little bit less relevant on the NA server, but Epic is 196 wins to 93 losses and almost 6.2k MMR. He's number 5 on NA. Ruff is 5.4, almost 5.5, with about 150 wins, 120 losses. So, he's a good NA player, but he's going up against someone that is one of those guys that kind of ascended past the NA server, right? So, on paper, this is supposed to be Epic's easiest match of the day, but it's still Ruff in the sense that he can do anything. Yes,
he can. In the bottom right, not sending any SCV out, at the very least, it is the Red Terran, Ruff.
He, too, has been around forever. I actually played against him in MLGs way back in the day, and he's just always been a very unique player. The top left-hand side, someone who hasn't been around forever. It's the young man, Psystorm Gaming's Epic.
So I always knew that Ruff was, like, older, but I didn't realize he was 33. That's what it said.
Is he 33?
That's what it said.
Look at that old man go.
That's so old, right? In control?
It is.
God, over the hill. Jeez.
It's like a fine wine, aged to perfection. That's what I think of when I think of Ruff.
Is it?
Yes.
Think of how, like, they make champagne. They have to, like, slice off, like, the grossness on top.
What? Do you?
I went to a wine and cheese thing.
Sounds like something
class in Paris with my mom.
Oh, okay.
It was nice. And we learned all about how champagne was made. And then some chick was like, "What if we like tilt like the bottles like just like 45 degrees and then let all the the stuff, like the gross stuff, get to the front so we can just like slice it off?" People were like, whoa, man. At least that's what I remember for all those French snobs.
Yeah.
Like, tweet at me. But anyways, he actually, I was wondering if he, if he continues playing, he could be doubling the age of some of our competitors.
Yes.
Yeah, he already is, actually. Some of our competitors are 16.
Brainer.
There you go. Now, Ruff, well, it's Epic's SCV. Epic's SCV is potentially going to proxy the starport. That's certainly what you would usually do with an SCV like that. So it's actually Ruff going for the natural, and then Epic going for the one base.
Yeah. In TvT, it doesn't shock me that much. The proxies, the cheese, the aggression, that's TvT. And I always think of this, I think of any excuse I can have to say this line. Idra once famously said, the cheesiest thing a cheeser can do is macro, and that's kind of what Ruff's doing, at least for right now. Like, he's taking the super fast expansion behind a bunker, but there's already double gas going down at the natural, so if we're worried about Ruff playing this out normally and we're going to get this long drawn out TvT, you're at least not going to get a normal long drawn-out TvT. He's going up to 4 gases before he mines any minerals. This is going to be double starport almost without... And I say that as if that's a thing you can predict, but I'm just reaching into my bag of random words and coming up with that.
You know what? I like it, though. I like it. I'm not so sure that's what it's going to be. It's actually prepared to already make, I mean, either a Cyclone or a tank. That swap off. He's also not really going to be able to get to what he wants to because the starport should do some pretty nice damage. He really does not have a lot to work with right now. It is fast no matter what build you're working against, with the starport being proxied.
Right.
That's going to be a lot of damage. The Marines in the bunker not helping here. Cyclone will be able to maybe lock on to something, but there are multiple components to this drop, and it's already fully unloaded.
And that was a second starport. Just for the record, whenever someone's like,
"Hey, Control doesn't know stuff,"
I want you to know that I knew before anybody else.
Yes, you did. But it stopped just short. 8 SCVs already going down, and he's forced to evacuate to his natural in the wall of his own main. I think the lock-on was broken, so it doesn't lock on to the medevac. More SCVs will go down. Certainly a great opener for Epic. In fact, even a game-winning opener. The medevac could die for all he cares. He's actually going to try and take on the Cyclone. It's not even going to die. Just kidding.
God.
All right.
Most of this army actually can just hop up there anyways. It's so funny.
That's kind of it. That's Epic CC is done, and he sees that it's double starport, assuming that he clicked on the starport anyways. Ooh, he's not going to get the Cyclone, but he's going to get another SCV. Maybe
At
2.
least, yeah. And that will mean that it is somewhere in the ballpark of 13, now 12 workers to 32.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you could just leave the game if you're Ruff, but
Uh-huh.
he's saying, you know what? Did he scout out everything and kill half my economy? Yes, but what if I still just finish this second starport anyways, and then catch him off guard by just still actually doing exactly what I was trying to do?
Now, do you know what he was going to do with the double starport?
It was going to be Banshee. Or maybe Vikings, actually. It's probably going to be Vikings.
Yeah, anything.
See, like, you have to take what you think it is and then take it down a notch. Like, I was like, Banshee. I'm like, no, it can't be Banshee because that's what I thought.
2 base, you could maybe afford a double battle cruiser.
I mean, maybe it gets there, but it was definitely going to be Vikings.
Oh, well, that's not right. That's... I mean, if Ruff is still going to go for, like, hellbat jobs, we're talking about so far in the future. That medevac boost upgrade, that's what that icon is, guys. It's
Oh my
not...
God.
It's what it's nothing. It's... I would say it's a fake, but the Liberator wasn't even close to spotting it. I don't understand. I don't
now
get it.
I feel like he's being weird to be weird.
Yeah.
You know what? What's kind of cool about this for Ruff, though? Ruff's doing Ruff. Like, that first series was straight up embarrassing. And I only say that because Ruff himself basically said that in the chat with the Stray. He's like, you made me look really bad.
Yeah.
And Stray was like, okay. But you follow that series up with getting medevac boost upgrade on your low econ. Like, that's going to be your answer for getting this game back into your favor?
Wingmass Ravens, that had to have meant to have been Corvid Reactor. I'm not even sure what the hotkey is, to be honest.
Apparently Ruff isn't either.
What did you even press? Well, once upon a time, that was like the thing to fake. It was the cheaper upgrade, but it's not even the case anymore. Okay, he is eventually going to go into those Hellbat drops. I'm thinking that's what his plan still is, as he gets Blue Flame, but he is working off of 1 factory and 2 starports that are like, both have tech labs, right?
Yeah.
So it's you know, still 2 medevacs at a time, I suppose, but obviously going into Ravens right now, so I'm just super confused.
That's what you like to see right there. The circle of life. It was locked onto the starport, a Cyclone was locked onto it, and they both fed off of each other's silliness.
Yeah.
How do Ravens do in this defense here, Zombie Grub?
Epic has too much, I think. Even if the interference matrix, like all the tanks.
Yeah, but then what, right? Interference matrix is only good if you're killing him with something.
Exactly. Like it's just like he kills like 1 unit. And
It's like, you slow down your aggression, sir.
Yeah, auto turrets are not bad, to be clear, but they're just that's not a small army, and it has bio with it too, so it's not like a 5 tanks that maybe a full surround on. There's interference matrix. There's the auto turrets, and this is not gonna hold. No,
like you
not
said,
even close.
too much stuff. Tanks will finish up their thing, and Ruff will get out of his 3rd game in record time. There we go.
I really feel like that medevac boost upgrade was a mistake. Like I was like giving the benefit of the doubt.
By Ruff?
Medevacs. I mean, he was looking at his base the entire time, but you click on the tech lab again. I don't know.
Listen, I'll put this out there because this guy needs this right now. We make our jokes, but every time I hit Ruff on the ladder, it is one of the most infuriating losses that I will take of that day. Because then I get to the studio and I commentate this, and I'm like, I feel like this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. It's just sometimes he gets thrown off. And when you're on that weird, unbeaten path already, and someone like shoves you off of it, now you're interdimensional. You're in some weird time-space continuum that you yourself don't understand. And that's what happens to Ruff. He gets, like, you know, thrown way off course, and we're already off course.
Yeah.
So there's the next match, just the current one. Thank you for that.
You right? I'm just like, are we getting the game already? Like, what's...
Yeah, here's the
There you go.
playback.
Yeah, not that there was too much to discuss. This drop was going to be effective no matter what. And, yeah, I guess he was going to still do Hellbats. And then he was like, I need something to defend right now. And...
No.
I mean, why not go for tanks when the factory start?
Just GG. He was dead. It was 12 SCVs versus 31, and he was going for a double starport opener. Like, the amount of resources necessary to make that viable anyways is an untouched economy. Never mind the fact that he got butchered.
So what is funny, though, is that Ravens, while not like High Templars, like, you know, that imbalanced gas and minerals, they are cheaper for mineral-wise. So that's, you know, makes sense for gases, not a lot of SCVs.
But now you can see why they're not viable.
No, not really. Maybe if you had, like, anti-air missile as well. No, there's just going to be too much from Epic, who was basically just doing his build without interruption, and it was very effective. So, Ruff, what is your plan here on King's Cove? You tried to, again, do a macro build? Macro-ish 2-base, right? And hope that Epic doesn't get aggressive? I don't think you do, because no matter what, Epic, if, you know, he's going to be safe, he's at least going to factory expand. If not, go for another, you know, full 1-1-1. And it's I don't know. Ruff's actually, I want to say has no chance here, but maybe he has a build that I'm not thinking of. That's going to be big surprise, very effective. I mean, Cyclone sometimes can be a bit of a bamboozle. I don't know. Bottom right, as the Red Terran for Psystorm, it is Ruff.
Fun streamer, been around a long time. Make sure and check him out. I mean, like I said, we're seeing him against the cream of the crops. It's unfortunate it's getting dismantled here, but otherwise he does a lot of mech and a lot of creative stuff and very interactive with his chat. The top left-hand side, looking for an advancement out of this group. That would be a great result for him. It's the young person, Psystorm Epic. Alex Damian. All these freaking... I need to meet these parents, man. They're naming their kids like Max Angel. Come on. The last name Angel, though, there's not a whole lot of first names. I mean, I guess you can squander that. John Angel, who cares?
Yeah, that's not such a cool name.
Hard Angel, that's a good one.
They just are blessed by
Steel
those last
Angel.
names.
What's
That's
that?
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, Steel
I mean,
Angel's
I don't know
cool.
many people whose first names are Steel, but
Well, how many people do you know his last name Angel?
I mean, I personally don't know a lot, but it actually doesn't sound like that rare of a last name.
God, you're such a hater. That's your thing, by the way, and
That's
I like it. I'm
weird.
going to make like a... you know what? I'm going to have Ruffy do this. You
Okay,
do this thing.
come
It's
on.
one of my favorites. It's where you disagree, kind of, but just off of theory. You'll be like, nah, I don't think so. And it'll be like, why? And you'll be like, I don't know. I just don't think so. And they're like, you do that a lot, and I like it.
Do I?
Spicy, yeah. You did it earlier, actually. We went back there, and I was like, these games have been rough. And you're like, first game was kind of good. And I was like, and then you had to, like, you looked up at the sky and thought about the first game, and you're like,
Yeah, you said it was. You said Epic was not playing like you expected, to put it nicely, and I was like, yeah,
you
the first game was
disagreed,
fine.
then thought about your answer to try and see if you agreed with your own actual answer that you said.
And then I said, no, it was Pili Pili that messed up in the first game.
Right.
And you said yes.
You're proving my point. My point
How
was
was that?
well, I'll do this whole debate online if you want right now. The point was, you'll say no, then think about what you said, and then see if you actually agree with what you just said. That's all I accused you of.
But I didn't.
You're doing it right now.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I felt like I was actually okay with that one. Like the next two games, I was like, yeah, those weren't that great. You're right. Never mind. But the first one, I was right about. Anyways, this, Control does this thing where he talks about his co-commentator's faults, as opposed to talking about the game. It's really great.
Mhm.
Spicy.
I agree. I do that.
Yeah.
Every time, too. And there's always going to be someone like, I can't believe he does this. Been doing it for 10 years.
Oh my god.
I keep getting hired for every event, too. It's crazy. It's almost
Wow.
like somebody that does something different from everybody else is actually valuable.
We all hate each other.
That's right.
Yeah. That's true.
No sound again. This keeps happening.
It's always weird to cast without sound.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
I noticed it explicitly because it feels like I'm about to hear heavy breathing. And that always makes me really nervous. It's like the most embarrassing thing that can happen to a commentator. Like, arguing, that's fine. But if you hear someone go... Some of the comments like, who's breathing? They're not wrong.
This opener from Ruff will eventually push us back. Actually, his second Hellion was late, so maybe not. I mean, he still has like the supply depots to hold the main, but he was supposed to have three Hellions now and a Reaper. Now it's 2 Hellions.
Yeah.
Hold on here. Hold on. Hold on. Actually,
See, and we brought sound in and us actually commentating this just in time to see Ruff die.
I mean, he's
But
not
you're right, he's not
dead.
going to die. No, he's got a 3rd CC behind this. So that's going to be like the makeup thing, I guess.
Yeah. That's what's nice about this, right? And even if Epic were to send that Cyclone over, I drove it right over. Send the Cyclone over.
Hang on. It's a reactor on the starport. Wait for it. Yep.
Vikings. He'd have actually a ton of Hellions and hopefully something else alongside this. And that, something else is apparently double Vikings. So Epic takes the little Nide mining there from the natural. It's okay with it. Still has Reapers that are prepared to go into the main base, and 3 Reapers will snipe quite a few SCVs,
Yep.
especially if the Hellions go out on the map and try and do something. So that
I
could
feel
be
like
painful.
Ruff went into today's WCS and was like, I don't care what happens, but in one of these games, I will pull off my Viking Hellion build, and I just want people to talk about it. And this is that game. He's
Okay.
going to be able to get 4 to 6 Vikings if that's what he so desires, and he will be able to attack with them.
I want to see that medevac boost upgrade again.
Yeah.
It's a very effective upgrade, except for the fact that you don't really care about medevac boost.
Do Terrans ever get it?
Kelzer got it once in a mid to late game TvZ.
Okay. So the answer is no, I guess.
No, not really. It's just that when I say it's effective, it's that it I forget exactly what happens, but I can't think of the way to put it right now. But
Doesn't it prolong how their boost? Like their boost is...
right, there we go. So it prolongs the
longer.
boost, so it also reduces the cooldown. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why I say it's effective, but just no one really cares about it.
Is it 100-100?
I think so. Yeah. So it used to be again cheaper than Cloak, but then Cloak got reduced. So
Yeah,
you would fake it.
It is kind of funny, right? Because it just boosts in a good spot as is. So they're like, why would I pay more for this? It's fine.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. This attack is actually... Well, I think Ruff's fine here.
No, that's what I'm saying. Ruff's going to slaughter this.
Yeah. The Hellions are going to do too poorly against these few units.
God, tanks are
But
good.
the auto turrets are also pretty good. He didn't land the Vikings either, and another Raven's coming in. So
Look,
he
guys.
barbecues the Marines, but everything else stays alive.
I was just wrong.
There we go.
That's okay. How often do I... It's a single tank in a single Cyclone versus like a dozen Hellions and 6 Vikings, and it was nothing.
He should land the Vikings to take care of this.
Yeah.
He keeps on chasing after the Raven. He's literally, that's what he's doing? Okay, good. So he lands it behind the tank after his Hellions will die, but anti-mechanical on Vikings is pretty good. It's
Cyclones are good.
Well, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that did more than I think it should have,
Yeah.
but it is held. Ruff is on 3 base to Epic still too, but it's not like Ruff has a ton of production yet.
No.
His macro's actually slipping a little bit.
Yeah. I thought, just in my mind, and again, I'm very unfamiliar with that fight, but I thought that Ruff would have slaughtered that. I think he should have landed the Vikings.
Right, yeah.
In the initial fight, I think he just thought the Hellions would just win the day in a big way, but he sent 6 Vikings against a Raven, and he did get it, right? At least there's
Yeah,
that.
he killed the one Raven and the second one pop came in.
Okay.
But I agree with you. It is nice to get the Raven. It's an important tool usually. It's the important thing in TvT. You're getting Ravens as well. But to help, take out the tank and the Cyclone,
Yeah.
I think you got to land them. But anyways, moving on, as Epic has his next attack already ready to go. It's a little unorthodox to immediately follow up with still no stim, but he is looking to control the air, which just seems really bold because Ruff is going for a lot of Vikings.
He's got that Raven, though. That's going to be the difference here, I guess. And this is what's kind of funny about this attack, is that you're right. It's got to be bio behind this, but there's 2 Marines. But it is just that these tanks don't really have an answer. Okay. Oh, no, you did get the interference matrix off.
Yeah. 2 Vikings are on the way for Ruff. Well, 4 Vikings at a time, actually. So he's going to save the Liberator. That's nice, micro. not just going to let it die, because it is kind of something he's still kind of depending on. Even though the rest of the ground army is, again, not that large, just 2 tanks. He doesn't want to have to use his Hellions to deal with this. And the Liberators will obviously take care of it.
Yep.
There you go.
So he'll have to pull back. And as you pointed out, there's a lot more air supremacy coming out from Ruff. So to try and combat that is interesting, because as you can see, it's 2 Vikings at a time for Epic and 4 for Ruff. All of a sudden, the Liberators become kind of cool, but I'm worried about the bio, right? Like, Liberators are cool, but if you're supporting that with Hellions that can turn into Hellbats, and then just like 6 racks of bio shows up, but you know, you're not going to do enough.
This is usually the point where I would say that maybe being, like, attacking multiple times, maybe you're getting a little bit over-aggressive, because you so want to deny a mech player a 3rd CC, and you definitely want to deny them a 4th, but that's later on. That you actually start to, like, give away the momentum later on, because you lose 10 supply here, you don't have, and there and whatever, you don't have 20 or 30 later on. That actually punishes the 4th. But I do think Epic overall is going to have that better macro, right? So I'm really not too concerned. And Ruff is still so dependent on his air that there's still a chance that Epic will overwhelm with the ground.
Yep. And it is still going to be more Vikings for Ruff, but it's going to be that bio force that tips the scale slightly in favor of Epic, as those Marines are sitting down there wailing on this. And now the Liberators are dead. They were kind of targeted immediately. Vikings will clean out the Vikings of Epic. But again, it's that Bioforce in support versus Hellions for Ruff. So you can do this exchange back and forth. You can win the air battle by a lot. But if they're not guarding anything and your ultimate end goal is to land Vikings against medevac Bio or whatever, not a good one. Not a good plan.
Yeah, landed Vikings not going to help out as much.
And now tanks coming out for Ruff too, so that's cool.
Yeah, well, you know, the natural step usually of a mech player is to get to a lot of tanks. He just went with so many Vikings first. So we're not really going to be able to see those Hellbat drops. The Epic's going to try and break this. Now, the Vikings, again, aren't that great versus Bio, but they're at least going to take some shots. And if there are like 4 or 6 tanks or like, you know, dozen Hellbats, Hellions, then this does not work. But that was the entire army for Ruff. All of his Hellions are going to go for a counter. And it is kind of effective, but it looks like he's going to lose control of his 3rd base.
Yep. Both players are. So the Hellions, good counterattack, but also very easily answered by whatever is being made. Meanwhile, these 4 tanks and the Bioforce, they're dug in. Like, this is a 3rd that I don't see getting lifted too soon unless Liberators start stepping up, which there are 2 in production, so that definitely is coming in here.
Epic isn't just responding to that potential, though, with his own Vikings, like eventually figuring he's going to win the Viking War because of what just happened. Ruff had to land his Vikings, but he also is safeguarding himself with the Thor. And the Thor's single target is going to do wonders, especially against non-range Liberators. But they do come out once again kind of in the nick of time. They push back the tanks, and he retakes his 3rd, killing like close to 30 SCVs.
Yeah.
It's just that Epic's on 4 bases and still on 50 SCVs, so that wasn't the worst.
And to me, there's a lot of issues with what Ruff is doing, but that might be the worst, is that I don't see Epic, like, why not just keep building command centers? Just keep going. What kind of map control can Ruff possibly get? Like, everything he's going to drop is killing SCVs, and that's fine and good, but you just keep dropping mules, keep making SCVs. And then what mobilizes for Ruff? Like a Liberator tank army? That's very powerful, but does not move very fast. So you can just kind of keep expanding.
You certainly can. Takes care of this natural setup here. Just be bopping around and try and catch Ruff off guard. And that's still something. Ruff is going to start really being desperate for a 4th, come like, you know, 2-3 minutes. Oh, this is really nice. But the turret's not in position, no Vikings again. So the tanks go down, the Liberator goes down. A little Hellbat drop, but is responded to pretty quickly. So it's just the 3rd of Ruff taking the damage.
Yep. It's going to lose both the gases, and the orbital is not entirely invincible, so that's something to look out for as well. That Thor that's stuck inside the main, by the way, contributing finally. And this will be chased back. And again, good economic damage from Ruff. It's just that he's taking more damage, so
right.
Not good enough.
There is a world where this harassment happens a little bit sooner, and it catches Epic off guard, so he like pulls back a couple of these times, misses his timings, and Ruff is secure on 3 bases with 6 tanks and 5 missile turrets and whatever. But that isn't this game. Like, Ruff has lost quite a bit trying to get this 3rd up and running, much less a 4th. Still doesn't have a lot of stack defense, and it's at that point where overwhelming should happen. Epic is banking a lot despite losing SCVs, and should produce and max out within the next 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And this is a particularly hard base map, sorry, to get a 4th base on anyways. So,
Did he just...
yes.
It happened again, right?
It happened again.
It's amazing. It's a thing. We got to worry about these pro gamers killing their own stuff. Is that...
It is weird.
Yeah.
Like, I know it sounds like we're being,
It's every game.
like, you know, too nitpicky, right? We're just finding each other's faults and the pro gamers, but the truth is that actually is happening more often these past 2 days than it has ever happened I've ever seen. It's
all.
weird.
They're humans. They make mistakes. They're playing at high stake StarCraft, and that's where you make more mistakes, if anything. It's the last remnants of that drop. We'll show up here and try to do some damage. But I like this from Epic as well. So he's saying, okay, I've slowed down your 3rd. I've got a 4th for myself. This game's squarely in my favor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit outside, and when you do try to mobilize and come out, because you're going to have to eventually, I'm going to clamp down and attack you. And I guess what Epic can do too is like, hey, I mean, if that never happens, then eventually I'll attack you. But Epic's got a bludgeon object just outside the ramps of Ruff, and he's daring him to come out.
Mm-hmm. That's literally what's happening. It's like, please try and come out and either try and push across the map, which why would you ever? Only at 120 supply. Or try and take a 4th base, which he can't do. He's never even gotten a 4th.
Right.
So nothing to put over there. So Ruff is just trying to keep Epic, like, at least a
on
little
the
bit low in economy. Another one? How?
Is he doing it on purpose? No, his supply is not.
Wait,
He did, yes. It's not a scouting SCV. It doesn't get that far.
I guess he's just A-moving in his base.
Guys, I don't know what's happening.
Like, furiously. Another thing we haven't really noted is that Ruff has absolutely no upgrades, and Epic is on 2-2, now going to 3-3.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because he is getting upgrades now, but it's so late. It's 15 minutes in. It's like, I guess you should get around to doing that because you plan on a 35-minute game.
Mm-hmm.
So 5th base being taken for Epic, and Epic's getting closer to maxing out. So eventually he does get to the spot where he's like, I guess if you literally never want to come out, I will attack you just because I'm now just banking stuff. Yeah.
What sucks is that, okay, this is what sucks about basing a mech player, right? Is that the way to actually kill them without risking the game is to win the air war.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, up a ramp against tanks and getting impatient could lose you some very stupid games.
You're right. I'm more just like wishing this to end. We're going to have this Viking battle right here. Oh my god!
Wow.
Guys, it's a thing. I'm sorry. I know I'm getting obsessive. You can hate me. But I've commentated a lot of StarCraft, and I've never seen this. This is just kind of weird.
Well, I think the weirdest thing about it is that it's not like a base trade where a billion things are happening.
No, he's literally moving medevacs in the army back and forth. And like you said, I think you diagnosed it, he's A-moving it.
Yes.
Which is completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I would say so. Epic knows how to end a game for some mech player. Contain, and then air superiority. So he is eventually going to get there, especially with the Raven.
Yeah, and there's no Thors or anything. There's no like splash damage for Ruff. He just has to have more Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, as I say that, there's actually Thors on the other side for Epic. So that air superiority that you just talked about, Zombie Grub, how does Epic lose this? Like the range on the... Okay, there's one of the first Thors for Ruff. So I guess that would be the how, but still you have to go down the ramp and take the air battle?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not going to happen. No, I don't know how that happens. We're just waiting, and so is Epic. Epic is not going to give us a swift victory because that's how he throws a game, and he just talked about how he considered that he threw a series versus Pili Pili, so he's like extra on guard.
No, this is not on him. Ruff's the guy that is staying in this game, and there's the anti-armor, I guess. That's going to really win the Viking battle, and this is not to... It feels like we're picking on Ruff a little bit, but it's just kind of the state of this game. When you lose that Viking battle, now I really don't know what his game plan is. Like that would be how he edges the tanks out. That's how he guards Liberators. Never mind. He just literally walks out. I don't, okay. How does he get out of here? He's like, I guess I just unsiege and walk out the other side. And I'm like, yeah.
I mean,
that would be how you do it.
We were all pretty televisioned on the website. There's just not a lot of Thors. Like, if Ruff had already transitioned into, like, pure Thor as a response, like, this might not be a terrible, like, reposition, but he has one Thor, and yeah, Ravens are amazing at stopping that. You need to get like 6 or 7. Epic also, I think if you really wanted to cement this game, well, actually, you know what? That's fine too. I was gonna say Liberator range to help out, but going battle cruisers is also fine.
Yeah, I mean anything is at this stage, right?
Yes.
For the most part. Bio's fine, right? Tell me what's wrong.
It's just, Bio's the thing that would, you like lose 100 supply and then you counterattack and you're like, oh, okay, and then just cry myself to sleep.
It's possible.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the battlecruiser transition, and so is it. Well, Epic has to lose some supply first, I guess, and maybe more starports at Tech Labs. That is a fusion core that is researching, so it's pretty obvious what Epic's next plan is.
Just do it. Just jump on this.
No.
It's got the bank. Just do it. Just do it.
Do it.
He's going to, though.
Is he,
No,
though?
he's not. He's literally just pulsating around. It's like prairie dogging on this map, up and down.
I'm not comfortable with your use of prairie dog.
Yeah, well, it can mean anything, right?
I watch Rat Race. I know what it means.
But does our young and impressionable audience know?
It's true. They probably haven't watched it. I do like that Ruff is adding on all these Thors, man. Like he's got a solid tank count to scare away the bio. He just needs to make sure he doesn't get bopped by either too many Liberators or what is going to be battle cruisers.
Yeah, so here's Liberators, but the fight's going to be anticlimactic. Like it's building up to this big interaction. It's not. So there's Ruff on the right side, by the way. The secret trapdoor that Epic forgot about, apparently. Here we go.
Oh wow, he's the one engaging.
Yeah.
Epic.
Well, he has to now.
Epic, I would say is saying thank you, but his Liberators had to be on siege and resieged. There are a lot of Thors, and they do okay against Liberators when they can reach them, but they just all get targeted down anyways. Liberators are plentiful after all the Thors die, and that's going to be a game.
Yeah. And this could have happened quite a while ago. I mean, yes, the Liberators just now got added, but there it is.
GG.
Okay.
All right, then.
I'll move on with our lives.
Epic takes the 2-0 against Ruff, sending him out 4th in this group. Fortunate for him. Pretty cool that he even got here. I want to say it's his first appearance, but I mean, since we've been doing them in a studio, pretty sure it is. And in general, I'm pretty sure it is too. So he got there from some anti-Protoss memes, I would say. But just didn't find anyone who was quite weak to his shenanigans or his mech. Because there are still some, like, even pros that are like, mech, no. But no, Epic knew how to handle it perfectly.
Yeah. And this was nice to see from Epic.
Yeah.
He had a messy series against Pili Pili. You cited the zombie grub. He felt like he threw a little bit. Did not throw here. I made my jokes about him, probably being able to end it earlier. But you know what? He's in the position of, like, I'm not going to mess this up. I'm not going to make this a 1-1 series and go into a game 3 with Ruff where he can get some kind of weird win. Let's just make sure I win and then move on. And he's got a good chance against Pili Pili again.
I think he does.
If Pili Pili loses to Estrella.
That's very true. That might not happen. But if he can clear his head, watch the winners match maybe, and just chill out, maybe he'll be better suited for what could be another group curse, right? But that is up next. The winners match, Estrella versus Pili Pili. Who is getting out first in this group? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the PvP.